Someone in your life is using these tactics on you right now, and you have no idea. Not because you are not smart, not because you are not paying attention, but because these tactics were specifically built to work on intelligent, self-aware people. People exactly like you. That is the part nobody ever tells you. Most people think manipulation looks like an obvious lie, a raised voice, a visible threat. What actually happens is the opposite. The most dangerous manipulation feels like care, feels like reason, feels like you are the one making the choice. Psychologists call this covert influence. It is influence that does not look like influence. And before this video ends, you will know exactly how it works and why you have almost certainly already experienced it today. But first, I need to tell you something that is going to make the rest of this very uncomfortable. These tactics are not just used by manipulators and dark personalities. They are used by people you trust, people you love, and in some cases, people you are. Because we have all used these tactics, most of us without ever knowing it. Let us start with the tactic researchers consider the most widely used of all. It has a name you will recognize, but the way it actually works will probably surprise you. It is called gaslighting. But what most people describe as gaslighting is just the surface version. What actually happens underneath is something else entirely. Gaslighting is not simply telling someone they are wrong. What makes it dangerous is the structure. The manipulator does not attack what you believe. They attack your ability to know anything at all. Research from clinical psychology identifies a three-step pattern. First, the person creates a false version of events. Second, they respond to your confusion with calmness. Third, they treat your emotional reaction as evidence that something is wrong with you. Think about that structure. Your reaction, your very natural, very human emotional response, becomes the proof they use against you. That is not just a lie. That is an engineered trap. And here is what makes it nearly impossible to detect in real time. When you are inside a gaslighting dynamic, you are not looking for manipulation. You are trying to understand why you feel so confused. You are trying to reconcile two versions of reality, yours and theirs. And because their version comes with such certainty, such calm, patient certainty, your brain starts to doubt its own records. Neuroscience shows us why. When there is conflict between memory and present experience, the brain prioritizes present input. It is a survival mechanism. We trust the present more than the past. Manipulators who understand this, even intuitively, exploit it naturally. But gaslighting is just one tactic. There is a second one that psychologists consider even more effective, because it feels like the opposite of manipulation. It feels like intimacy. This tactic is called intermittent reinforcement. And if you have ever stayed in a relationship, romantic, professional, or personal, that you knew was hurting you but could not leave, this is almost certainly why. Here is what actually happens. The manipulative person alternates, unpredictably, between warmth and withdrawal, between affection and coldness, between approval and silent punishment. And they do not follow a pattern. The randomness is the point. This is the same mechanism used in slot machines. Variable reward. When a reward comes at unpredictable intervals, the brain does not give up trying. It tries harder. It becomes more engaged, not less. Psychologists call this a behavioral addiction, and it forms faster than most people believe. You do not stay because you are weak. You stay because your brain has been neurologically conditioned to chase a reward that keeps almost arriving. That single sentence, if you understand it fully, will change the way you see every difficult relationship you have ever had. But here is something even more important. Intermittent reinforcement is not only used by romantic partners. It is used by managers who mix praise and humiliation, by friends who alternate between including and excluding you, by family members who give approval only when it benefits them. The same neurological trap works across every relationship type. But here is what nobody is talking about. The reason these tactics work on intelligent people more effectively than on anyone else. Research in social psychology has found a consistent pattern. People with high analytical intelligence are often more vulnerable to covert manipulation, not less, because they trust their own ability to reason through situations. And the manipulator exploits exactly that trust. When a highly analytical person is manipulated, they do not simply feel confused. They construct explanations. They build logical frameworks for why the other person's behavior makes sense. They find reasons. And every reason they find is another reason to stay, another reason to believe the problem is solvable if they just think about it harder. The manipulation does not bypass your intelligence. It uses your intelligence as the weapon. The third tactic I want to walk you through is the one most people never identify, even after they have left the situation. It is called DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. When you confront someone using this tactic, one of three things happens immediately. They deny any wrongdoing, often with such confidence that you begin to doubt your own perception. They attack not the accusation but you, your character, your stability, your motives. And this is the part that is hardest to see in real time, they reverse the roles. Suddenly, they are the one who has been wronged. You are the one causing harm, and you find yourself apologizing for the confrontation you were trying to have. This is the moment most people describe as the one that broke something in them, not the original harm, the moment when they tried to name it and found themselves defending their own sanity instead. If that has ever happened to you, if you have ever walked away from a confrontation feeling like somehow you became the problem, you were experiencing DARVO. And you are not alone. Researchers estimate this pattern appears in the majority of psychologically abusive dynamics. Now, remember what I said earlier about intermittent reinforcement, about variable reward, about the brain becoming addicted to almost arrivals. DARVO works alongside intermittent reinforcement in a specific way. The warmth after the confrontation, the sudden return of affection after DARVO, registers in the brain as a reward. And that reward is 10 times more powerful because it came after pain. This is why the most difficult relationships to leave are rarely the ones with consistent cruelty. They are the ones where cruelty is occasionally interrupted by something that feels like love. The last thing I want you to understand, and this is the part most people miss completely, is that recognizing these tactics does not automatically protect you from them. Knowledge helps, but the neurological pathways that form during manipulation, the conditioned responses, the emotional associations, those take time and deliberate effort to rewire. Knowing the name of intermittent reinforcement does not stop the pull. It gives you language for what you are feeling. And language is where rebuilding starts, not where it ends. So what does protection actually look like? Researchers who study manipulation recovery point to 3 consistent strategies. First, document your reality. Write things down. When you record events in real time, you give your memory something to return to when someone tries to rewrite it. Gaslighting loses power when you have a time-stamped version of what happened. Second, track patterns, not incidents. A single moment of coldness means very little, but a pattern of alternating warmth and withdrawal, repeated across months, that means everything. Your emotional nervous system cannot see patterns in real time. Your conscious mind, with documentation, can. Third, and this is the one that changes everything, rebuild your relationship with your own perception. Manipulation works because it teaches you not to trust what you see and feel. Recovery means slowly learning to trust yourself again. Not perfectly, not overnight, but one small act of self-trust at a time. If this is resonating, if something in this video is describing a dynamic you have lived or are living, follow at MindVyne. Because everything here connects to a larger picture of how human psychology really works, and we break it down every week. At the start of this video, I told you that someone in your life may be using these tactics on you right now. I want to close with a different version of that thought. Someone in your life, maybe you, is also capable of unlearning them, of choosing differently, of building something that does not require control to survive. The most powerful thing manipulation cannot survive is a person who has decided fully and finally to trust what they know. You found this video. You watched this far. That is not an accident. That is your mind searching for something it already knows it deserves. Pay attention to that pull. It is one of the few things in this area of psychology that is completely your own. Trust it.